What is up, sheepdogs and sheepdogettes?
Sheepdogettes? Wow, I love watching these comments.
Yeah, what do you like about them?
Well, because someone's like, the Pickle and Ryan show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just love it. I think it's cute. So I just noticed my hair is like kind of jacked up.
No, your hair looks great.
I gotta admit, like I'm overdue for a hair wash.
What do you think about these big mics now?
It's like covering. Listen, I got a pretty face. Why are we covering it here? It's like,
Well, it's because I can't help it that you're like freaking 4 feet tall or something.
I'm actually
Trying to fix the popping a little
5'4".
bit, but they look pretty big.
I think it's too big, and I don't normally say that.
It is a little bit too big.
Yeah, can I pull it off?
Oh shit!
What?
I do this every time. Okay, is that better for Tiffany?
Can't hear. Okay, can you hear me? You know what it is? It's this thing. He's trying to muffle me out. He's trying to cancel me out with this thing.
I wish.
Can't hear. You still can't hear me?
Oh no, they can hear you now.
No, Katora just said Ryan's on, but Tiff's not.
No, you're on. Can you guys hear Tiff?
Okay, sounds good. So Tom Cigars, can you hear me too? Okay, yes, better. Yeah, because like, let's be honest here. We're all here to hear what I have to say, right? So we can't have my mic off. What is up, everybody? I'm super excited for this Monday night. Usually I'm a little dragon, but today I'm like, I think it has something to do with the
47 lattes today.
I've had, but I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Dustin.
Remember to subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. We talk about all kinds of cool stuff.
I feel like you can't see me. This thing's like in my face, like this.
No, you're sitting like an idiot, Tiffany. Just sit up correctly, and this isn't going to be an issue. This is the new normal. We're trying to improve the quality.
Okay. The new normal.
New normal.
Gotcha. All right.
AC is deafening. Can you guys hear it?
Really? So you're saying I got to turn the AC off? Because last week you guys told me I could have the AC on and that I didn't have to sweat my bum. So I wore jeans. So I'm going to have to take my jeans off halfway through. I'm giving you guys. I am.
Okay, first of all, I cannot hear the AC. You can't hear the AC. Oh, so only kidding. Tiff is weird.
Tiff is weird. Yes, and I own that.
I told her, I said, I think it would be really funny for us to do an entire episode with no pants, both of us.
Listen, if you shut the air off, I am doing this episode with no pants. Because normally I wear my like loose pajama shorts, right?
Yeah.
To get a little airflow happening. But if we have to shut this off, I'm taking my pants off. No one can see.
Okay, we got to start an OnlyFans account first. Tom, help me out, buddy. We got to get it set up.
Okay, wait. So Mary says I can't be the only one who realized I need to give people my actual phone number during a Facebook outage. Yes, let's talk about the Facebook outage. I was like, what's going on? I texted my sister. I'm like, can you please go on Facebook and see if, because I was thinking like my internet's not working.
That's what I was thinking then. When I was at Paisley School, I tried to go into the group and I was like, what the hell is happening? I can't. Right. Nothing works.
And then I just said to Ryan, I'm like, this must be big because I've been on Facebook for 12 years and this has never happened. And I don't know, can you guys confirm, was Instagram down too?
Oh, Instagram is down. WhatsApp is down. It's like the entire Facebook monopoly just crashed today. So if you guys are not aware,
super interesting.
There was a 60 Minutes interview that looks like it popped up on YouTube yesterday. I don't know when it played like on TV, but it popped up on YouTube yesterday.
Yep.
And it was...
So Katora said they shut it down after that whistleblower interview. So what? Well, it wasn't right away though.
Which is shocking. The fact that Facebook would shut it down, knowing that what this whistleblower did, that's pretty damning. That tells me, like, you guys have a lot of skeletons in that closet.
Whoa, so Cyan Wraith says Facebook lost $7 billion.
Yeah, I thought it was $50 billion because their market crashed so much, their stock price.
I don't know. I'm okay with that.
Why are you okay with it?
I don't know. Ryan Ryan's like, why? I was like, I feel so happy about this. Ryan's like, why do you feel happy about this? And I said, I really don't know. But I do know that every time I see a picture of the Zuck, I'm just like
But what is it about Zuckerberg that like makes people? Because listen,
he just makes me cringe. I don't really know why. I think it's because, like you said, he has too much power.
The dude's got so much power, right? I was listening to a speaker yesterday, actually, or 2 days ago, as I was driving home from the Tampa Concealed Carry class, and he was talking about Thanos in the Infinity War like saga of Marvel Studios, right? So Iron Man, all that stuff.
Where are you going with this? I don't even know these names.
So Thanos, basically believed that the universe was overpopulated and he needed to kill 50% of the people in the universe to save the universe, right?
Gotcha.
And he said, isn't that kind of how Mark Zuckerberg is? Mark Zuckerberg literally holds the power to destroy most businesses in America. In the palm of his hands.
Yeah.
One tiny little algorithm update will destroy thousands of businesses.
Right. So, interesting. Bruce says he's a slime ball. So, big tech has been gaslighting our fellow citizens. Yep. So yeah, I don't know what it is exactly about it. But you know what? Amazon has that same power.
Sure.
Right? So I've been watching lots of business videos and stuff lately, and it's amazing at how many people built this whole business on Amazon. And if you guys know, Ryan and I started off 10 years ago out of our garage selling on Amazon.
We were the very first people to sell Magpul products on Amazon.
Right.
So, and when we did it, we exploded. We were selling hundreds of Magpul products every day, and then like a freaking faucet, it just turned off.
Yeah, this is the story I was telling Ryan.
Okay, go ahead. I was trying to add to the story. I was trying to
jumped in
add
and stole
flavor
the show.
Instead of this boring vanilla.
I'm trying to think that I'm feeling maybe
Thinking must be hard for you.
You're a little intimidated by me. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling like I bring up a good story, and then you're like, I got to take this away from her. I have to take it now, or else people are going to like her better.
Go ahead, Queen Tiffany. Tell your story.
Thank you, Queen Tiffany. Seems quite fitting. Thank you. So I know all about the Amazon game, right? So I'm listening to these companies talk about how they started on Amazon, bought tons of products, which is what we did. And then when Amazon sees that you're selling a lot of products, they're like, huh. And they'll like make a policy that you can't, but then they pick up whatever you're selling and then they sell it and make all the money. So they use you as a tester, which I get it. It's their company. They can do what they want, but sucks to be in our shoes when then all of a sudden you have to lay staff off because
we're stuck with 350 Magpul angled foregrips. You know how long it is to sell? How long it takes you to sell 350 angled foregrips?
In a little storefront in South Tampa? I can tell you how long it takes. It takes about 5 years. And then you got to put them on like clearance, and even clearance doesn't work. So yes, and then you got to lay off staff, right? Because you're used to shipping 100, 200 products a day. Sometimes we were shipping up to 500 products a day. So, we had to have staff to do that. So it's like, not only do you all of a sudden have like a crap ton of Magpul grips, but you also have 10,000 labels for shipping, 10,000 shipping bags, 10,000 boxes.
Do you know how long it takes you to get rid of 10,000 shipping labels? We still have them in our office.
It takes a long time. So, anyway, that's our story. The Queen Pickle, Mike, you are awesome.
Should have been here last week, buddy.
I should put a crown on a pickle, and that should be my logo.
Hold on. So, did you watch like the 60 Minutes interview?
No,
do you know
because
anything
when
about
I
this
saw
woman?
it, so listen, when I saw it last night, I tried to watch it, but because we don't pay for real TV.
Because Facebook doesn't want it to spread, so
I have to wait until it's. I have to wait till I can watch it on whatever channel, 60 Minutes. It's probably on YouTube by now.
It's on YouTube. I watched it.
Can anybody confirm? You watched the whole thing?
I'm trying to tell you. You just keep talking, though. Kind of like another person I know.
If you say the HC word, I'm going to punch you in front of everybody.
Okay. So, this woman, she was like some big executive, worked at, or maybe not an executive, but she worked at Google. She worked at Pinterest. She got recruited by Facebook to come work there, and she said, I'll take the job, but only if I can help deal with and eliminate misinformation, the spread of hate, and all that stuff.
Okay.
So this was in like 2019, right? So Facebook had like this big organization just to try to combat misinformation leading up to the election.
So is this all those little tags underneath that say, this is not anything that you posted about Trump? It was like, this is not accurate?
Sure.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're doing some good stuff too. But she basically said, there's all these like internal reports saying that young teenagers on Instagram, that Instagram is actually hurting them. They're getting eating disorders, which causes them to look at Instagram more. Facebook knows this, but they're still promoting it to like those young teenage kind of girls.
Because they're going on it more.
So their research tells them that it's bad, but they're doing it more because that's what they need to do for revenue, right?
For revenue, okay.
So they're showing that, what gets people, Facebook is all about profit. It's all about making money, which I get. They're a business, right?
It's a business.
But what they've learned is that if they show videos and posts that elicit anger and hate, it causes more engagement, which means you can increase ad spend and they make more money.
But they don't share like our stuff or whatever. So let me ask you this. Okay, I get that it's a business, but you still have to have like like we have a business. We obviously want to make profit, but we're very ethical. And if there's something that we know would be, harming or whatever, like I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I know you wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Like we would, even if we knew we were going to lose some money, like we're not talking, they're making like billions of dollars. So they can afford to take a little bit of a hit to say, you know what, we're going to do this to combat, eating disorders and to combat, whatever.
But see
because wait a minute, because I think if they did that, I might not hate them as much because I would go, oh, you have a little sliver of a heart.
You're actually doing something that's good.
You actually are trying to do something that's good, and you're actually owning up and saying, you know what? Research has shown that this is making young girls have eating disorders. So we're gonna try and figure out, how we can stop this. And do you guys have any ideas? Share with us and get people involved. Then I wouldn't think you're such a slime ball of a company.
So the title of the live stream tonight is What the Facebook Whistleblower Has to Do with the Second Amendment.
Okay.
Because as I'm, learning and watching how Facebook is manipulating the algorithm, they allegedly, I don't know, but allegedly were allowing like the organizers of the January 16 Capitol incident. They were kind of like encouraging that, but they're stopping other stuff, right?
Okay.
Because they knew that if that happens, they're going to be able to use that quote unquote insurrection, which it was not an insurrection. It's such BS, right? But they knew they were going to be able to use that as a marketing ploy to match or to get their agenda passed for years to come. They will not stop talking about that. So how else are big media giants like Facebook, YouTube going to censor information and promote other information to try to destroy the Second Amendment?
Okay, so Patio Furniture said, where can I find that video? You said it's on YouTube.
YouTube. If you just type in like Facebook, don't do it right now. Stay on the live stream.
Yeah, stay on the live stream. Whistleblower.
Facebook whistleblower.
It should come up. And then Bruce is saying to go watch the Ted Cruz interview with the Facebook executive. She sidestepped everything. So.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Makes sense. But that's what they always do, right? Like Zuck has been in front of Congress how many times a year?
Yeah.
Like it's 3-4 times a year he's sitting in front of Congress, and it's all just BS, right? Mm-hmm. You can tell that he's obviously rehearsed this a lot. He has a lot of time spent with his attorneys.
Well,
he knows what questions
yeah.
are going to be asked.
You got big money like that. You got the big lawyers.
And he just says nothing, right? He says nothing. And it's scary to me.
So I boycotted everything, and it didn't help. I know. So it's so hard because everyone's like, just stop using it. But it's hard when you have a company, and I don't want to give Zuck money, but I run Facebook ads because it helps our company. And sometimes, that's where we get people. So if we're just off of there, it's like,
you're dead. You're dead to the world. You're gone to the world.
We're still able to share, this stuff on Facebook for now. So we're actually still able to get the word out. Ryan has, real life scenarios on there. He teaches people. He has, drills that people, firearm safety videos. So all of this is on our Facebook page that people can actually see. You have why the Second Amendment is important. All that stuff that's still available for now. you know.
For now. But how much are they throttling and censoring the stuff that we even put out there?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. We don't know behind the scenes, right? The Lord is bigger than all of this. Amen. This is very true.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But for now, you know, we're on Facebook. So, and I'm not going to lie. I have my like little home design groups and stuff like that. I keep my family in Canada. I watch all the pictures of like my nieces and nephews and stuff like that. Otherwise, I would never really see them because they're busy. It's easier to just post a couple pictures. Even me, I posted Paisley the other day for homecoming. It's easier for me to post a picture of Paisley and then grandma sees it, grandpa sees it, you know, his sister sees it, everybody sees it versus...
We all know how Facebook works. She's over here trying to explain this to us. We've been on the app before.
Truth.
Okay.
I'm not going to go text it to everybody, right? So, I don't know. Just saying.
Yeah, so it's funny. I was talking to somebody about this, and they said, you know, if you don't like Facebook, then go create your own app. We did that. It's called Parler. And guess what? Facebook, Google, Twitter, you guys shut it down.
Right.
You guys deleted it off of all the app stores because you don't want to lose control. You want to maintain your control. You want to be the only dominant players. You all want to, what is it called? Like, you all want to commingulate. Is that a word? Probably not.
Commingulate?
But you guys all want to, like, collaborate to try to destroy any type of competitors that come into the marketplace.
Yeah.
While at the same time saying, if you don't like it, start your own.
Yeah.
You scumbags won't let us.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You won't let us. So, Katora says, I understand. I have my little makeup group, so I get it. Exactly. And then somebody said shallow as hell, but we're all guilty of it. Yes, Rusty, it is exactly true. It is shallow. And the thing is that it's that comfort, right? You get used to it. I mean, I could just turn off Facebook. I really could. But I mean, we would lose because of it. We would lose sales. We would lose customers. We would lose interaction with people.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a big way that we communicate with our students and with other people. But I mean, I wouldn't say I need it.
I don't need it. I don't give a flying crap about Facebook.
Not. Yeah.
We do it for business. That's it, man.
Yeah. Yukon Territory, Tiffany. No, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Right in the middle of the boondocks.
Middle of BFG nowhere. That's where she's from.
Middle of nowhere.
Let's talk about some crazy shootings and stuff. So this is a video. This is a road rage incident. Don't know where it occurred. Guy decided to start some shit. And let's replay his video.
Yeah,
so he's like pushing, trying to shut the door, right? And then the driver gets out. He's got a gun, open carried. He's got his hand on the gun. Oh. And then the other guy was like,
"Oh crap! Back up,
man,
back up!"
Done. He had a.
So the aggressor ran up to him. Did he open the door?
I think the driver opened the door, and then the aggressor was like trying to shut the door and say, "You're not going to get out. I want you to be in a weak position, right?"
Okay, but I run up on you.
Because this is what cowards do, right? This is what cowards do. They want to intimidate, but then as soon as you show any type of aggression back, this is how you separate the lions from the lambs, right? Yeah. The lamb is like, oh, you actually want to fight? Okay, I'm just going to run.
Right. Crazy. So then he just runs back into his car and the other guy goes back.
Yeah.
So he's open carrying. Is this in Florida?
I don't know where this happened.
Okay, because I was saying he's either open carrying in a state where he's allowed to open carry, or he's saying...
Or maybe his shirt was over it, and he just pulled it up over when he saw the guy run up, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I was asking. Then would that be called brandishing?
What the fuck is that, dude?
I don't know. Do you guys think in the comments below, do you think this is brandishing, or do you think this is, like, justified self-defense?
We have to say, like, devil's advocate, this is in Florida, okay, and he shows his gun, because unless he's going, you know, to or from hunting or something like that, he shouldn't be open carrying. So it looks like he pulled out his shirt to show his gun. So if you're showing your gun, does he have the right to even show his gun just because somebody's walking up to his vehicle?
Is it smart to even jump out of your vehicle like that?
No.
Like, I get that the dude is shoving your door and trying to close it. Is it smart to try to get out of your vehicle?
Well, he shouldn't have even opened his door. So problem number one, don't open your frickin' door. Keep your door closed, lock it. I mean, you don't have to do anything. Thank you so much,
Thanks, Marcel.
We love you. So don't open your door. Let the guy run up on you and pound on your window. I mean, it's not going to break. It's not going to do anything, right? Be ready in case the guy pulls out a gun. but you're fine inside your car. And then definitely, I would not be
My
chasing.
hand would probably be on my gun, though.
Yeah, but that's fine. You're inside your vehicle. You can have it, on your... I'm saying don't open your door. And don't get out and chase someone.
Yeah, don't chase them.
With now your gun out. Because now, let's face it, there's video everywhere. Like, you ain't getting away with shit nowadays.
Yeah, very true.
Like, you are getting away with nothing. I don't even know why people don't grab that concept yet, because this is like 5 years already. Like, does not everybody know you're not getting away with anything?
Yeah, when wild stuff starts happening, the first thing you do is you start recording.
Yeah, it happens
because you just never know what's going to happen.
I saw a guy scream out the window, and then I was like, kids, they're like, Mom, what are you doing? I'm like, this is going to be a road rage. I'm catching it on tape, right? And then the guy got out of his truck, and then he's screaming at the other one.
Instead of driving, you're trying to get your camera working.
Let's face it. Good viral video, right?
Yeah, all right. Hey, man.
So I'm just saying. Let's see. Chasing is escalating. Yes, exactly. Like, if this, let's just say this turned bad and he, pulled out his gun and shot. I mean, boom, you're going to jail, buddy, for a very long time because you are doing multiple things. You're not in fear for your life. You're opening up your door. You're chasing the guy. Now you got your gun out and now you're shooting someone. Like, done.
So you think that guy, this dude here, the driver, you think he would go to jail if the cops showed up?
Oh, he's got a fucking gun.
I do, because I feel like he was brandishing and he didn't have a right to brandish because the other guy, unless, I guess, devil's advocate, he might have been saying, like, I'm going to shoot you or whatever.
You can't chase him, right? Like, even if the guy was saying it, you can't chase him.
Yeah, exactly. You can't chase him. So, yeah, I think he's probably still going to go to jail or get
maybe
whatever, what charge do you get for?
It's a misdemeanor. It's a third-degree misdemeanor.
Yeah,
improper exhibition of a dangerous weapon. It's jail. It could be 1 year in prison. Could be up to 20 years if you end up getting convicted of aggravated assault.
Yeah, and you lose your rights, right?
Yeah.
You lose your permit. You lose your rights. It's just not worth it. Stay in your car. Let the hothead be a hothead, and let him move on with his day. The light's going to turn green, and you just keep moving. That's the way I see it.
Which is easy to say, very hard to do in real life.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah. All right, so I don't know if you saw this video. I have had 30 people message me this video over the last 2 weeks. So here it is. So this is a young kid.
Oh, I've seen this.
You've seen this, all right.
Yeah.
So he's going into his apartment. You can hear the bad guy in the background, like, talking. Obviously, it sets up some, like, red flags in this guy's head. He puts out his hands on his gun, pulls his gun out, kind of got it in the low ready, and just smoked that guy.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I can't tell. I looked at the video like 2 times over, and I couldn't tell if the guy who got shot, did he have a firearm? Was he pulling out a firearm?
Oh, he was wearing a ski mask. He had a gun.
Oh, he did have a gun. Okay.
And again, we can't hear what the robber was saying.
Yeah.
But it sounds to me like my read of the body language is this was a potential armed robbery. The victim could see it. He could sense it coming. He had good awareness.
I feel like it was a targeted attack.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I don't think this is a random. I think that guy knew him.
Yeah.
Knew, maybe that he had some cash inside or something like that. Because the way it looks like he knew exactly, like he was waiting for that guy to come home. So, I don't know. Crazy. But he was ready, right? He knew right away. He put his hand on. He got his gun out.
So Metal Makes Me Crazy says, stand your ground. Dude took the room temperature challenge and won. Yeah, I would agree. I think that guy was very aware of her surroundings. He was definitely able to identify that something about the situation was not right. And I think he was smart. I think he put his hand on his gun. He drew his gun, but he was still waiting. Like, is this really happening?
Okay, repent and follow Jesus. Is that fact or is that just a guess? He's saying because the victim is a dope dealer.
Maybe. Could very well be.
Yeah, I don't know more of that story, but that's why I was asking, hey, Kyle from Bunker Depot. Yes, that boy was ready. And that's why I'm feeling like a little, like I feel like he knew that person, or he knew, like he was expecting, like maybe it was a drug dealer or whatever, and he said, like, boy, you owe me money and I'm gonna, get you. Is that how they talk? Like, boy.
You haven't bought drugs in a long time, huh?
I haven't.
Hey there, Sonny. Come here. I want to talk to you for a minute. Want to holla at you.
No,
I heard you got some marijuana.
I feel like drug dealers are always prepared. Yeah. I'm saying I feel like he knew that this was coming and, it was a targeted attack. That's why he was so ready, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I understand JD Israel. I don't think that just because it's a black person that they're selling drugs.
Yeah, that's not what we're saying, dude.
We're just saying I think there's more to this story. I think it's a friendship gone bad. I think that they know each other.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is
Slept with his girlfriend, maybe.
I've had several people. You remember the one story that comes to mind? Young dude, he was probably like 25. He said his girlfriend and his baby were asleep in the bedroom. Mm-hmm. He fell asleep on the couch, which is very normal. I fall asleep in the living room all the time.
Like every night.
And all of a sudden, he heard like something happening at his back door. He doesn't have a sliding glass door. He just has a back door, right?
Okay.
So he walks up and he like looks through it, and there's 3 armed men right there.
Oh, gosh.
So,
I seriously would pee my pants.
So they kick the door open. And they force him on the ground. They're all wearing ski masks. They have their guns and stuff. And he said, as they had him on the ground, the robbers said, show me where the money is at. Mm-hmm. And he was like, what are you talking about? And the burglar went straight to the couch, knew exactly where there was a wad of money. Yeah. So I stopped the student and I said, do you understand that this is obviously somebody that you know? This is obviously somebody that you told you had a large amount of money shoved in this cushion.
Or somebody was over, a buddy was over, or whatever, and this is someone you trust, but now all of a sudden they need some money, and they're like, oh, I remember so-and-so.
So this young guy, he's on the ground. He said, just take the money, whatever.
Yeah.
So the bad guy, one of the bad guys had him at gunpoint. Another bad guy went into the bedroom where his girlfriend and his baby was. And I think his kid was like
stressful,
2 or 3, pretty small.
Yeah.
So he jumped up and he tried to stop the burglar.
Yeah.
And the bad guy that had his gun on him shot him in the spine. Do you remember this video?
Yes, because he
Young
came
dude,
into the
he's in a
concealed carry
wheelchair.
class in a wheelchair. Yeah.
So shot him in the spine. He is now paralyzed from the waist down. This is a real student in my class.
Yeah.
Now, thank God. I said, like, hey, man, it's going to be a tough question, but are you going to walk again?
Right.
Like, what do the doctors say?
Right, yeah.
And he said, I'm doing physical therapy every day. They said, I definitely will walk again. It's just going to be years.
Wow.
So, this is a crappy situation, but the point of it is that you got to be very careful who you share your life with.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're obviously on YouTube all the time, but that's why I'm like, I don't want anybody to know, like, what we, like, if you have one gun, he's got less than 5 guns.
I hate guns.
Less than 5.
President Biden, I hate guns.
Because, you just don't want that. You don't want everybody to know what you have because you just don't know. There's scumbags out there. So I was watching, I think it's called, like, I Am a Murderer or something like that on Netflix. Super cool. No,
is it?
It's actually really good. Yeah. And it's actually kind of sad because... you hear the stories of them and not justifying murderers, but I have.
Where is this going?
I have a heart from them because when you hear
you have a heart for them. What?
Ryan, you have no idea. Like these little boys are being raped, sexually abused by neighbors, right? Like raped every single night for years and years and years, and then put into locked into a little shed and not fed. I mean. You got to have a little bit of sympathy. Like, yes, you can't go out murdering people, but you got to say, like, wow, how would I have turned out if I was raped every single day by a grown man? Like, it hurts for a grown person.
Okay. Stay on the path here.
What I'm saying is, I lost my train of thought now. What were we talking about again?
You're talking about feeling sorry for murderers.
So on this one show, right, the kid... this is how he got into a murder thing. He was hanging out with the pastor, youth pastor, right? Hanging out with him. But then the youth pastor was trying to help him and stuff. And he was a young teenager, 13, 14. And so every now and then he would come over and let him like mow his grass and stuff like that for money, right? He's just trying to help. But this kid then saw him take out money to pay the kid out of like this cookie jar type of thing, right? Yeah. So the kid knew
and that was enough
that he had money in there. Well, he liked this youth pastor, so everything was fine until one day he's hanging out with his buddies. They run low on drugs. It's 1, 2 in the morning, and they're like, oh, where can we get some money? We can rob someone. Let's go drive around and rob someone. And then he says, I know someone who's got some money. He's got it in this cookie jar can in his kitchen. They drive to the guy's house, they bust in, and they freaking murder this guy and steal the money. And it was like $120.
Sure.
So just goes to show, like, just a little amount of $120, like, people will come in and actually murder you for that. When the time is right. It might take a year, it might take 2 years, but when they get desperate.
You know, and here's another quick story, but we had a woman in the concealed carry class in Tampa a couple years ago, and she was an older woman. She lives in an older house, and she decided to put brand new windows inside of her house. So she did a bunch of research online. She found a window company, had them come out, and they start taking out the old windows and putting the new ones in. So she said the first day the window company was there was like 5 dudes working on the windows. And then the next day, there was only 4. So one of the guys just never came back to the job site. She didn't think much of it, but she was just like, whatever. Maybe he got fired. Maybe he's working another job, whatever.
Right.
So then like 2 weeks later, she gets a knock on the front door. Guess who it was? It was that 5th guy who had disappeared off the job.
Okay.
So she said, "Can I help you?" And the man said, "Yeah, we were here and we replaced your windows. I need to come inside to inspect them and make sure they look okay." And she said, "No, I'm not doing that." Because something about the situation, it just set off her radar. And she just said, "This doesn't make sense to me."
And we all know that companies nowadays, like, they alert you, they send
They're
you a
gonna
text.
schedule an appointment, like something,
They let
right?
you know something, like, hey, we're doing a follow-up.
So she called the company, called the owner, and said, "Hey, you remember that guy?" She told the story. And he said he got fired that first day. He does not work for our company anymore. So this guy went to her house one time. He then realized this is a pretty good in. This is like a legit reason for me to go back. And most people would buy that, right? You replace your windows. I'm here to inspect it. I think most people would say, "Come on in. Let's take a look."
What were his intentions? That's scary.
I think he was going to rape her.
Yeah.
He was going to rob her. He was going to kill her.
So did you see that young lady? I forget her name, so my apologies. But did you see the young lady? She's like a college-age girl in her apartment that she went missing. They couldn't find her. Turns out the maintenance man went in with his key.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, you sent me this. I didn't look at it. Yeah.
I did. Oh, I did. Yeah. Went in with his key and raped and murdered her. So again, another example of you just don't know, because it's like every day, like you have pest control guys come over, you have whatever. And there was that young lady in California where the illegal immigrant guy was just driving by while she was jogging. She's like 19 years old, went out for a jog, and he was like doing...
See, this is why I don't exercise.
Well, I don't know if that's a good excuse for you, but he just, I think he had seen her jogging once before or whatever, thought she was cute, and then it's like, boom, now I have an opportunity. Super scary. Because we all have people come to our house, right? We have pest control come, we have Walmart delivery, we have, any kind of maintenance issues.
Uber Eats, you just never know.
Don't
50,000 Amazon delivery drivers a day.
Come on. Don't out me, Ryan.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, I know, but it's, So anyway, what else you got there? I was trying to find this young lady's name.
Okay, so Bruna, I guess this is for you to explain.
Oh, yeah. Look
at the camera.
Okay, so this young lady's name was Maya. Very beautiful young girl. I just feel terrible seeing that. Okay, so I have been getting like a couple texts and a couple emails from you guys asking how Bruno is doing. If you remember, Bruna's our young friend who has the terminal brain tumor. And so my sister took her mom and then
So Christina.
Another friend, yes, her mom Christina, and then another friend who's a nurse at the hospital, Kelly, and they took her to, I want to say it's the Hyatt in Clearwater or the Hilton. And this hotel is special because they have a wheelchair that you can use that goes on the beach and can actually go in the water. It's got like huge...
There's a picture here.
Oh yeah, huge tires.
Pretty neat. I think it's pretty smart of them.
So they were able to take her to this hotel.
Did she go in the water or can she do that?
Well, I mean, I just in the wheelchair, like just to get her feet wet.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's all they did.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's just the point that you can go on the beach. You know, she hasn't really been out of the house except for to go to, you know, doctor's appointments and stuff like that. So you guys have been asking about her. So I wanted to let you know that she had a really great weekend at this hotel going on this big wheelchair and going into the beach and stuff like that. She was feeling kind of sick. She had to lay down. She got a headache. She was...
Because it's a lot. It's hot. It's sunny.
She was throwing up a lot. So, you know, she's having a rough time, but...
Do make it the best you can.
Yes, and Christina wanted to say thank you again to everybody who gave. You know, it's been such a blessing because they've had the nurse come in. So anyway, I thought that I would give you guys an update on how she was doing because she's still able to be at home, you know, with her daughter and stuff. So yes, continued prayers for her, please. Speaking of cancer, you know, Bill's on here. He's going through chemo. And then did you see that Ron DeSantis' wife just got diagnosed with breast cancer? And she's 41 years old, so same age as me, kind of scary. The picture that they showed, you know, he's got little kids. And
okay. I thought you were going to say, did they like show the tumor, how big it is or whatever?
No,
You're just talking about
you
the
can't
picture of the
invade
family.
privacy like that.
I don't know. That's what I thought you were going with this.
No, so the picture was of their family, and I didn't realize that they had such young kids. So right away, all I can think about is, because I know the chemo, you know, makes you very nauseous and sick and throwing up, and I'm just like, how hard is it to be, you know, the governor and then have a wife going through, you know, chemo, and then these little kids, you know, and then just as a mom, you just want to take care of everybody and make sure everybody's, you know, you guys understand. You want to make sure that the house is running and stuff. And when you're, you know, not able to do that or not able to do that at your full capacity because you're ill and stuff like that, it's really hard. It's really hard to, you know, to do that. So I really feel for them. So prayers for her.
And what's stressful for me, this is selfish, might be a little bit rude. Listen, man, I feel very bad for her that she has cancer. What's scary to me is this is going to put so much pressure, so much strain on Ron DeSantis that I'm afraid he might not run again next year. Yeah. This might be such a burden on his family that he's like, listen, and honestly, I wouldn't blame him. You got to take care of your wife. You got to take care of your kids.
Yeah.
It is a burden. It's very hard, right?
Yeah.
And it's not her fault that it's a burden. Yeah. It's the cancer's fault.
Right.
It's these companies that have been putting carcinogens in all of our products for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
So it's scary because, like Couture just said, he really is like the only person in our state right now really standing between good and evil, defending our rights and our freedoms from this tyrannical, outrageous, not just crazy stuff that's happening.
So forgive me because I really have no idea. And you guys, you know, don't comment and say that I'm dumb because I just don't know. But forgive me. What happens if he says, like, I'm not going to run again? Does somebody else step in? Or
there will be another Republican candidate and another Democrat candidate, and then they have to, you know, battle it out and see who the people are going to pick.
I wasn't sure if it was just like, okay, then they win. I'm like, oh crap, that'll really stink.
No, this isn't Canada.
So does that? Well, that's what I was thinking. So does it go down the line? Like, do we know who that secondary person is, or does somebody step up to?
No, there'll be. It's just like the presidential election, right? You'll have like 5 Republican candidates. You'll have 5 Democrats because they're testing, right?
Okay, gotcha.
And they're going to say, who are the people responding to?
Right.
And then that's who everybody is then going back.
Okay, I get it.
Because you don't want to just throw up one. Right. Because then you're stuck, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to see who the people like and who has the best chance of winning is what they want to know. Yeah. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Ryan G. in the house.
Oh, gosh, no.
Governor.
I'm sorry. What? Sorry, buddy, but you got too much of a colorful background.
Yeah.
Although.
Could you imagine my YouTube videos playing like Ryan Thomas dressed up as a woman 911 reporter? Ryan Thomas.
Laying naked on a boat in a Speedo.
Masturbating on the freeway, which is a YouTube video that's out there.
What YouTube video is that? We should share that. It's a good one because it's a real story. It's a reenactment. That's
real story. One of the funniest, I asked a female student, I said, ma'am, why do you want to carry a gun concealed? And she said, I was driving home from work yesterday, and I looked over, and a man was masturbating while he's looking at me. And I was like, wow, that's That's a story right there, lady.
It's happened several times.
Yeah, it has.
It happened to our neighbor, too.
She told me the whole story, and I was like, my gosh, I got to make a YouTube video about this. So the character, it was Johnny Fingers. I'm sure you can Google it, but it was pretty comical.
Yeah.
Tom Cigar says he calls that a Tuesday.
Gross. No, it happened to our neighbor. Oh, somebody says I know her. John, it's definitely possible, or it's somebody else, because they're, like I said.
It happens a lot.
My neighbor, it happened to her. She called me, and she's a beautiful lady. She drives a beautiful, red Jeep, and I guess she was going to Orlando, and this guy all of a sudden was, like, right beside her. And she was like, oh my God, this just happened to me. And I was like, that's so nasty. So anyway, Ryan did a video reenacted.
So I'm in my head, I'm like getting all of the stuff that my 911 character was saying. Yeah. So instead of asking like important questions, the 911 operator was like, can you describe the shaft?
And then she's like,
was the soldier wearing a helmet?
Yeah. Tiff for governor. Tiff is Canadian. Tiff is not American. I can't do nothing. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of state it is, but it's Florida, man.
Exactly. You know what? It happens in multiple states.
Listen, if you can masturbate on the freeway doing 90 miles an hour, you are a multitasker.
Oh, gosh. All right. Does anybody have any questions? We're at like 7:42 here. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Do a question.
Question number 1. Are pistol mounts for your dashboard under your steering wheel legal to use in Florida if you have your concealed carry permit?
Does it really sell steering wheel? That's what you said. It says
steering wheel. You guys know what I'm trying to say? Like, what are we trying to...
Listen. He sent a picture. That's what I'm going to tell you before you start rattling off, because I sent him your video, and he sent a picture, and it was in like a Black Ox Serpa holster attached to the magnet. Just clarifying it wasn't...
Yeah, so if it's inside of a holster and it's snapped in a holster, then that is classified as securely encased. So as long as the firearm is not visible to the ordinary sight of another person, in my opinion, that would be lawful. However, you got to just be really cautious. One of my students, it was inside of the book, but he had a firearm inside of his door. He was at work. He opened his door and was talking to another employee. And the other employee, what are you doing? You doing like a Princess Leia thing here? Oh, hair extensions? Those are the same ones that I put on my chest when we go to the beach. It's the only way I can feel like a man.
Okay, so this is an easy way to not have to dye your hair and ruin your hair, but to add a little spunk, right?
Okay, let me get back to the story here, which is far more important than your hair nonsense.
They liked my hair, so I was...
Okay. So this employee had their conversation, and then they both left. And then my student gets a phone call from the HR department saying, hey, Joe Blow, your coworker, said that you have a gun in your car. So just use a lot of caution. My story, I had a gun in a Blackhawk Serpa holster mounted to the steering wheel of our van for years. Yeah. Years. And then it was there for so long that you kind of just forget that there's a gun there. Mm-hmm. So our nephew, Austin, he was probably like 16 or 17. Yeah. He texted me one day and he's like, Uncle, can I borrow your van for like an hour? And I said, sure, come over and get it. So he took the van, and then like 30 minutes after he left, I'm like, oh my God, I got a 17-year-old kid driving around with a gun right there. Like, how dangerous is that? Yeah. So I had him come home real quick, and I took the gun and I said, take the van back. But it really was after that. That is when I said, I'm not doing this anymore. Right. Like, anything could have happened. He could have got, pulled over, arrested. I get arrested. It just could have been really horrible. Mm-hmm. So it's not something that I recommend, even though it might be legal.
Katora said she's sorry for distracting you with my hair.
I know. You women, you guys talking about nonsense.
Okay, so Repent and Follow Jesus says, is getting flagged for a non-resident CCW Arizona common? I don't really understand.
What does that mean? Yeah, getting flagged, what does that mean?
Are you saying that you're carrying in Florida with a Arizona concealed carry permit? Just comment, and then we can answer you. Because I'm not sure about what your question is. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, next question. One, right? Oh, actually, is this it? Nope. Okay. Can a person who is legally allowed to possess a firearm carry it in the glove compartment of their car if they are from out of state? Yes. So the concealed carry statutes, they don't apply only if you're a Florida resident. They're very general. These are the laws with a firearm in Florida. And as long as you're not a prohibited person, then they apply to you. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you're from another state, whatever. As long as you are allowed to have a firearm legally, then you're allowed to have a firearm inside of your glove box. It can be fully loaded. Glove box can be locked or unlocked.
Yeah.
I've got videos about this on YouTube. Just check it out.
Okay, so Mary says, before arriving to a hospital, I have to verify if they have a mental health ward, correct? If so, I cannot carry concealed.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to conceal carry in a hospital that treats any degree of mental health patient, which the reality is...
They all do.
I would probably say it's safe to assume 99% of all hospitals treat some degree of mental health.
Yeah, because if you're, suicidal or whatever, they'll take you to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have you,
Has that happened to you?
No, it hasn't, but, back in the day, yeah. I think we've all had weird thoughts, but I've never gone to the hospital for it. But I think that that's accurate, that pretty much every hospital at some degree will cover that. So now, what about hospital parking lots? Does that matter? I want to say I heard somewhere, but...
Yeah, so if a hospital is a federal property, like the VA hospital, when I go to my appointment next week, they're going to have big signs right at the entrance that says no firearms or weapons allowed.
Oh, gotcha.
Which means I cannot have any type of gun, ammunition, or weapon in my vehicle on their property. Now, that does not include a knife with a blade length shorter than 2.5 inches, which is interesting. But I know that if they saw my knife inside the VA hospital, they would all freak out and probably take me to the ground.
A big deal. Okay, so Nate Too Nasty.
Amazing name.
Where do you guys get these names? Can I use the Tier 1 concealed holster in the 3 to 4 o'clock position? I'm too fat for appendix. We don't call it fat. We call it fluffy around here. I
don't think it would be comfortable. I think there are better holsters for the 4 o'clock position.
He didn't say access elite. He just said the Tier 1. So I'm wondering.
None of the Tier 1s are for. All of the Tier 1s that I know of are for appendix carry.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what they make.
Okay.
So I would encourage you to maybe look at the Crossbreed Super Tuck.
Okay.
Pretty amazing holster. The one made by Craft Holsters for the 4 o'clock position. I don't remember what it's called, but they sent it to me. I gave it away. But Alien Gear Inside the Waistband 4.0 is another really amazing one.
So for the 4 o'clock position, would I be correct in saying it's best to probably Google holster for 4 o'clock position? Because they probably say, this is specifically made for the 4 o'clock position.
I don't know. Yeah, you can try that. It's a little bit of a
different...
They are different. The style is different.
And you got to remember, if you're carrying appendix, it's a lot flatter, right?
Right.
If you're carrying 4 o'clock, you've got that kind of rounded, so the holster is shaped a little differently.
A little bit different, yeah.
The Tier 1, I think, would be a little bit too big. I don't think it would form fit as good.
Yeah, so Kyle from Bunker says Vetter or Concealment Express for 4 o'clock. There you go.
Concealment Express is nice. They're nice and thin, really light. Yeah. Okay. It rides.
Dr. T says, you guys know holsters. I still think you could do a whole video on holsters.
He's been doing
so many videos on holsters.
Yeah.
The course is called The Right and Wrong Way to Carry a Gun.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours of me talking about concealment holsters.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't checked out that course yet, it's amazing. Yeah. It'll really help you get a deep understanding of how to choose the right holster for you.
Yeah. Okay. G code for 4 p.m. I'm guessing he's saying for 4 o'clock. G code, so that's another one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mary says, I've been practicing cross carrying. I'm actually really liking it. Okay, yeah, I think that video that you did drawing from the holster with Nick, I think that was a cross draw, right? That I saw. So very cool. This is the thing. Some of us got bellies. Some of us got, we have to find the best way to carry for us, whether that's cross draw. I know Ryan's totally against purse carry or kind of off-body carry. But
no, listen, I think it has its place.
That's the only way, especially for women, because our clothing is different, and if for whatever reason you cannot physically carry because, you just got too, hey, some of us just don't have a good body shape and we got kind of that fat roll that hangs over, not just in the front, but on the sides and the back. Well, then it's very hard to get a gun. So then maybe for you, it's going to be, sling. What's that called that you carry your camera bag in?
It's like a side bag or something like that.
Like a side bag that you fling over, they got ones that look tactical or don't look tactical, ones that look more professional. And maybe that's the best for you. The bottom line is carry 100% of the time that you're legally allowed to, whatever way
I think
that
sometimes gun owners get distracted, just like all of us, distracted on stuff that doesn't matter. A woman was saying to me, she was in the class on Saturday, she said, my family is like really harassing me about the gun that I chose to carry. And I said, okay, what kind of gun did you choose? She said, it's a Ruger LCP. And she said, I needed a really small gun because I have infants and I need to be able to hide it on my body, maintain control, and not let my children get access to it.
Yeah.
And I said, so what are your family members like saying about this gun? And she said, well, they're telling me I need to have a Glock 19. I need bigger capacity, a bigger bullet, a 45 or a 40.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my personal opinion, I think it is far more important for a mother with children to have a gun, to be able to use that firearm proficiently at a high level, and to have a deep understanding of Florida concealed carry law.
Yep.
Those three things are far more important than having 18 rounds of ammunition.
Exactly.
Because the reality is, most self-defense shootings are over in a microsecond.
Right.
A few rounds are exchanged, if that.
And I'm probably going to get some emails about this. But men and ladies, if all you can handle right now is a 22 pistol, a Ruger SR22 or a Walther P22 or something like that, because you're just still very scared of the recoil or it's very intimidating to you, then carry that. Because that firearm is, one, it's better than having nothing, and it's also better than having a 9mm or a 40 or a 45 that you're too scared to shoot. You're too scared to practice with it because it's got too much recoil and it's scary. Listen, some of us have been shooting a long time and it's no big deal. For other people that are getting into the game, it's intimidating to them. And so they're not practicing because they're so intimidated by it. So guess what? Start with a 22. Carry a 22. It's still better than nothing. It is still a lethal round. And I'll tell you what, if you hit somebody, right, center mass with 8 or 9 22 shots, guess what's going to happen to their lungs? It's going to turn into a strainer. And you know what happens when you put water into a strainer. So
I don't, because I'm a man and I don't cook.
Wow. All I'm saying is I would rather you, because if you don't carry a 9mm or if you don't carry a 45, then why bother carrying, you effing idiot? It's like, people actually say this stuff.
No, yeah.
And
I agree with you 100%.
Like, let's think about it.
Yeah.
And some people, before the Smith & Wesson Easy Shield, because they actually made a gun that you could do. But before that, it's been hard to rack slides. So we would actually sell a lot of 22s to people that had like arthritis and really had that hard time with the slide.
Tiff, I forgot to even tell you about this. We had a woman do the beginner's guide to firearms as she went to the range with me. She's got a Glock 19X. She has
People are saying, oh my, OMG, 22. Yeah, exactly.
So she had the tiniest hands I've ever seen. And she did not do a good job at all with this 19X.
Right.
It was very difficult. She had a huge cant in her grip. It was just horrible. And I said, ma'am, can we try something? I had her shoot a SIG P365, so very small grip. Good. She was able to get a solid grip on it. She shot it like a rock star. Her groupings were like this. So that her groupings went from this to like that, all because she had the proper size gun.
Yeah.
And I said, ma'am, you need to get rid of this 19X and you need to go to the P365. And she said, the people at the gun store told me this is what I needed. I said, they lied to you. They lied to you. This gun is definitely wrong for her.
Yeah, the Ruger LCP 380 is great. So this is the thing, though. I'm not even saying, I don't care if you carry the 22 for the rest of your life. Great. I still think you having that gun and being proficient with it because you're not scared of it is better than having no gun at all, right? Because if you're just too scared and intimidated by a 9mm, well, guess what? They're not going to carry it. And two, if they ever do have to shoot, they never practice with it because they're too scared. So now they miss anyway and die anyway. So, but a lot of our students that we sold guns to, when we had the gun store, we would sell them that 22. They would come back a few months later.
Sure.
And they would say...
Because they got the nerves out. Now they feel safe.
And they would say, thanks so much. Like, I love my gun. And I'd say, you can trade it in, if you want. No. I'm going to keep it because I love shooting it for practice, but I want to move up now to a 9mm because I feel comfortable. And I was like, yes. Like, that was so awesome to me because... You would be surprised. We had an 85-year-old lady. Yes, 85 years old. And I'm not talking like a strong 85. I'm talking like the frail 85-year-old. Looked like she had 1 foot in the grave, okay? She comes in.
Did you tell her that? Because that would be a very terrible marketing technique.
She comes in because she's trying to buy ammo. I said, okay, ma'am, what do you got? And she pulls out in the box a Taurus Judge. No, the Smith & Wesson Governor, okay? The Smith & Wesson Governor. Which is, shoots 45 long Colt and 410 shotgun shells. And she's like this. And I said, is that your carry gun? And she's,
I bought it at a gun show.
She bought it at the gun show. And I'm thinking, lady, I don't know who your salesperson was, but I guarantee you all they had was this, something else, and something else. And they didn't have anything else. So they just bullcrap their way to sell you this gun. So, such a sweet old lady, but we got her fitted with the right gun, and she came back. She would come back all the time now, right?
Do you remember?
She really loved us.
We had this lady, her name was Ethel. So imagine like 85-year-old black church lady from Georgia. So imagine
and just think of the hats,
big
too.
flower hat and everything. Like that's
very sweet lady.
That's who Ethel was, right? So Ethel would come into the gun store and she'd be like, I want that AK. So I'm like, what? What are you buying an AK-47 for, lady? Like, I was convinced that this lady was buying guns for her drug dealer, like, grandson or whatever. But she would buy the gun and she would leave. She would come back a month later, buy a Ruger 44 Magnum, and then she would come back and buy a Glock 19. And I just thought, this is the weirdest thing ever, right? But it was all legit. She was super nice. She passed the background check, so there's not much I can do. Then one day, this guy comes in, and again, he's like 50, 60. What was his name?
I can't remember.
So he comes in. We're just going to call him Henry, right? So he comes in and he goes.
We did have a student, Henry.
He goes, hey, are you Ryan? And I was like, yeah, how can I help you? And he goes, you've been selling my mom a bunch of guns. And I was like, okay, who's your mom? And he goes, Ethel. And I was like, yeah, Ethel is like, she's here all the time. And she's like, yeah, she told me that she really likes you guys. And he was awesome. Like, he had just moved from California.
His name was Henry, actually.
It was? I'm pretty sure it was.
Henry, yes. Now that
he
you
was
say it.
like an amazing customer, both of them.
Yeah,
but
and
turns out
he had a twin brother, too.
Turns out this lady, Ethel, was super freaking hardcore. I can tell you some like gangster stories from Ethel. Super hardcore, but this lady just loved guns. 85-year-old church lady from Georgia.
Yeah.
The funniest story Ethel ever told me, she goes, Ryan, honey, in 1945, I was coming out of a grocery store in Augusta, Georgia. And she said, and a man walked up behind me and he touched my rear end. She goes, Ryan, I turned around and I shot him in the leg. And I was like, oh my God, Ethel, that's kind of hardcore. And she goes, then he ran away and I followed the blood trail. I found him behind a Cadillac and I shot him again. And I was like, holy shit, Ethel. I'm pretty sure that's not legal, lady.
What was his brother's name? I forget about these people.
Yeah.
So
hilarious.
So many awesome
This is why we should have had a freaking vlog or we should have had a reality show. It was so funny.
It. Yeah. Customer service, human to human respect. You know what? And we definitely, even now, I mean, so many people that come to the class, they're just surprised, right? They're like, oh, I thought I couldn't say anything because I'm a Democrat. or whatever it is. And it's so, what just happened the other day? Oh, the guy said I didn't want to say anything or ask a question. He stayed late after the class because he didn't want to say anything because he was too scared because he just had a conversation with his son who, has different views than him and just.
Yeah, so that guy, I asked him why he wanted to carry a gun, and he said, I've been against guns my entire life.
Yeah.
And I said, that is awesome. And he goes, now my mind is changing. So I said, this is amazing, sir. Like, I want to know, what was your mindset before when you hated guns, you didn't think guns were necessary? Mm-hmm. What did you believe?
Right.
How did that mindset change, and what do you believe now? And he was like, I don't want to talk about it. So I was like, okay, that's fine if you don't want to talk about it, but, whatever. I'm curious.
Because you want to know what.
How do I understand your story so that I can share your story, the transformation with other people that are against guns, right?
Right.
So he stayed afterwards. I think he got warmed up to me after the 30 minutes and stuff, and he stayed afterwards, and he said, my son is like hardcore right-wing, like the lunatic standard. You become a lunatic on both sides of the extremes, right?
You can, yes. If you can't handle having a conversation with somebody, then you become a lunatic.
Yeah. And he said, I shared, some of my opinions. And my son, he said, we went there to visit him for 3 days, and all 3 days were just a massive fight and a massive argument. And I said, that's sad, right? Again, this goes back to what I was talking about on Wednesday on the Clubhouse Live, which if you guys join us this Wednesday at 5 o'clock, we got to be able to have a calm conversation with people that don't share our viewpoints. That's the only way to actually win. But if we just attack people, if we just shove our beliefs down their throat, they're never going to agree with us, right? They're never going to see our way of thinking. It takes a smart man has to be able to articulate why they believe what they believe, and then let it be out there. Some people are going to agree with you. Some people are going to disagree. And you've got to take the people that disagree and ask them smart questions like, why do you think that? What happened that made you believe guns are dangerous? Whatever it is, and then figure it out. Because a lot of times it's nonsense. A lot of times these people have zero understanding of guns, gun ownership, or the actual real death rates of guns, and they're just spitting off whatever they heard on CNN.
Canic Bill, yes, but we are closed on Sundays. Ryan does not do any range training. Sundays is for church and family time.
Yeah, but I'm usually at the range Fridays. Saturday afternoon, Mondays, so whenever. Yeah, and somebody on here was asking, like any range training lives up in Ocala. We literally have people drive.
Ocala's not that far. Come
from
on.
Ocala, from Gainesville, from Jacksonville. I had a whole group of 5 dudes drive from Jacksonville 2 Saturdays ago, just because something happened. But dude got murdered in Jacksonville. It hit a nerve for them, and they were like, "Oh, Tampa Carry, we can do it in the morning." Boom, done.
Tom Cigar says when he took your class, you didn't have to ask him why he carries. You knew the second you saw him.
Yeah, did I?
No, he's just teasing because he always calls himself like a man that looks like a 65-year-old Japanese woman. So, Nate, I put the email there. It's classes@tampacarry.com. So I saw a question. I was going to answer it before we leave.
Andrea says, are you guys a couple? No, we're past couple status.
Yes, we're married. We've been married for 15...
or 16 years.
16 years, I think. Oh, gosh.
Too long.
16. We've been married 16 years, together for like 18 years. And
Andreas, frankly, I'm just waiting for some paperwork to go through.
Oh, it is. And Andre.
You wrecked my joke.
Yeah.
You wrecked my joke. Joke wrecker wrecked it.
Ooh, now I'm the Queen Pickle Joke Wrecker. That's my new nickname. Yes, we have 3 children, Paisley 12, Lincoln 10, and Jackson 7. So as of now, we are still together.
You want to hear something really cool?
Did you get that?
Yeah. Jackson, just before the live stream, lost his front tooth.
Yeah.
So now he has 3 teeth right in the front that are all missing.
Yeah. But he's got one left, and it's crooked because it's so I mean.
No, that one came out.
No, the other one's crooked too now.
The other one's coming out too? Okay.
Yeah, so, when they smile at you and they're like snaggletooth, I'm like, oh, so cute. So I said, maybe you should try to wiggle that other one out. So anyway.
Hey, Rob says, so are the private classes at an outdoor range that I shoot at recently? The outdoor range that you see me at is actually private property that one of my students and a YouTube subscriber owns, and he very kindly let me build that big gun range on his land.
But that's not where we go shooting. We go to a local range here in Brandon, and all that information, if you go on our website, tampacarry.com, click on classes, click on private range, you'll see that information there. We also have, I want to plug this because the private range is great. If you want to go, it's an hour and a half. It's a great class, but the Beginner's Guide to Firearms, I feel like, is a really, really good class because you also get a bunch of online training. So it's called the Beginner's Guide to Firearms, but there's stuff in there that even if you're not a true beginner, it's really, really beneficial. So there's the Beginner's Guide to Firearms course plus 5 bonus classes, and it's all really good courses. So you get that, plus you get to go to the gun range for an hour with Ryan. The only thing is it's not private. It's up to 5 students. There's not always 5 students. Sometimes there's 2, sometimes there's 3, sometimes there's 4, but
so the value of the Beginner's Guide to Firearms really is if you are the type of person that is stuck, if you're somebody who is scared of guns, if you're afraid to go to the gun range, the Beginner's Guide to Firearms, that's what will really help you overcome that fear. We have a student right now. She's been to the range with me 4 times. And when she first came, she was like visibly shaking when she was at the range. And now, once she learned the process that I taught her inside of the course, now she's a freaking rock star.
Yeah.
She still wants to shoot in front of me because there's still a little bit of the fear, right?
Yeah.
And she wanted to make sure I could control the environment.
Yeah.
But she is really mastering the fundamentals of being safe, and I think it's really paying off.
And doing it properly. So you would be surprised at how many, intermediate gun owners go shooting with Ryan. He just had one the other day, private range. And this guy's been shooting
Talking about Jackson or something, right? Jack?
No, not Jackson.
Okay.
He's been shooting for years, but he was shooting the wrong way. His grip is wrong. His stance is wrong. He was doing sight alignment wrong. So then he's been doing really good at practicing to do it the wrong way. So then Ryan was like, because the first thing Ryan does, show me how you shoot so I can help you. And so that's the other thing is a lot of times we didn't really learn the right way because we just went with our buddy or our neighbor. Our neighbor took us shooting, and then you never really learn those things. So anyway, just a side note. But Mary said the 21-day dry fire challenge is the one that got me. I love it.
Awesome.
Glad to see you're practicing that, Mary. And she posted in the women's Facebook group challenge, her and her husband side by side, Nick, who could draw faster and who won.
No way.
She won by seconds. Not even by a little
By
bit.
seconds?
By seconds. She won.
That's not good, Nick.
Totally.
That's not good, Nick.
Totally hardcore. I was like, that's my girl.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. So that 21-day dry fire challenge, if you guys aren't familiar, it's another course we have. It's right on the Tampa Carry website. But that's where, you're going to practice drawing from the holster, drawing from, a seated position at the restaurant, drawing from being seatbelted in your driver's seat at your car. You learn how to draw from the holster and practice that drill. Trigger press, how to have a smooth and consistent trigger press pull and stuff like that. So really cool drills inside there to really master Dan's on there. Dan is killing it.
Yeah, Dan is a rock star, dude.
Well, Dan is beyond. Now Dan is in expert mode, right? So, which is crazy. It's crazy to think
we call that God mode.
So, Dan, just really quick, when did you start? Because I know you said your buddies, you're under 2 years, right?
Yeah, Dan started at least the 21-day dry fire challenge in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, but then, he went shooting.
January.
He went filming with you, so he's done a lot of shooting with you. But he's done the 21-day dry fire challenge. He even does it with his kids.
Yeah.
So all 3 of his kids, I want to say Knox. Dan, what's their ages? Yeah, December 9th, 2019.
Yeah.
So, and now Dan is expert. Dan is Jack Wilson. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy at how fast that you can really, really learn to be not just in your head, how we all think that we're, proficient, but actually proficient. And that muscle memory. The muscle memory that this guy's built must have been crazy. Anyway.
We got to wrap it up.
Okay. So Dan's kids are 15, 14, 10, and 8, and they all do it. They all go shooting with him. It's so crazy. All right, guys.
We appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys share our live stream, share our videos on YouTube. You know, we're all trying to fight.
Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up.
Evil YouTube and Facebook algorithm. So we definitely need your help. We appreciate you guys that are on here. The one guy, let's see.
Yes, it's so easy to renew your Florida concealed carry permit. Go on the Florida Department of Agriculture's website, click on the renew button. You can do it right online. If you didn't get your tracking number that they send you a few months before your license expires, just go on the live chat button. They can give it to you, and you can do it all online.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Be safe.